Welcome to Life Activated. I'm Mari Roberts, corporate gal gone rad energy healer and psychic guide. The intention of this podcast is to be a supportive space that empowers you to live your passions now, encouraging you to be uniquely you and to trust your intuition. On this podcast, you're going to hear from guests who are just like you. The difference is they figured out how to bring their passions into their life. To find out more, please visit me at marirobertslife.com. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming back. Welcome to the Life Activated podcast. Today's guest is just so special to me. And I know that you are going to truly enjoy meeting her, learning more about who she is and her story. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off by having Natalie Brown go ahead and introduce herself right away. Natalie, I'm handing it over to you.
Hey, I'm Natalie Brown. I'm a massage therapist over at Chosen Chiropractic here in Bellevue. And I'm a Taurus. I've been working with Mari for, a year and a half, maybe 2 years or so. Just really living my best inspired life at this point. And so it feels really good.
I love it. I love it. And I should say, yes, Natalie and I have worked together, which I love and I'm so grateful for. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have Natalie on for this season, where we're talking about alignment, is because I think Natalie has such a beautiful story and can really share about how she has come into true alignment, doing what she really does love and what she's passionate about. For our people who listen to this podcast, there's a mixture. You know, we have a lot of corporate people, but we have corporate people who run the gamut. So you're a Taurus. Do
Yeah,
you remember anything else? Do you remember your human design?
I don't think I do.
I feel like you're a manifesting generator, if I remember.
Feels right.
Yeah,
Feels,
yeah.
yeah.
So I had a small group program called Cultivate, and Natalie was in it, and I brought in a human design reader, and everyone in the group was either a manifesting generator or a generator. So that's why I was like, I'm pretty sure you were one of the manifesting generators, and you're Taurus,
hmm
correct? Yeah.
It's
Okay.
me.
Do you remember your rising and your moon, just out of curiosity?
I don't.
It's okay.
Um,
It's
I don't
okay.
remember.
It
Yeah.
and it's okay. We'll have to look that up. We'll have to
Yeah.
look that up. It's always fun. Okay, perfect. So, if you could just share a little bit about, you share that you're a massage therapist. I think one of the really great things that actually, hold tight before we even get into that, before we even dive into your story. I can't even believe I almost forgot to do this, which happens. I pulled a card for us, for
Oh,
you, for anyone who's listening to, the Life Activated podcast at this moment. And I wanted to share what the message is. I can't believe I did this. Sometimes I forget and I wait until later and I was like, wait, hold on. We gotta share this now. So I wanted to share the message. I have been on a kick. I'm going to stay on this kick probably throughout this season as well. So, season one, I use the same cards as I'm using for season two, which is the Asia de Shore cards, the Guided by Spirit Oracle deck. And the card that I picked today is Flight. So, I'm going to show it to you.
mm,
It's really beautiful. And it is basically these really artistic birds in flight. They almost look like just wings, but then if you're really looking at it, it could look like planes or sort of mystical birds in flight. So let me connect to that and see what the message is. And then I'm going to dive in to ask you more questions about your journey to where you are.
perfect.
Okay, so right away, I'm hearing where you started from is not where you end. Mm. Flight is a journey. I heard, are you ready to take flight again? Are you ready to spread your wings, expand even further, expand where you didn't think it was possible to expand? How high can you fly? How high can you allow yourself to go? Seeing the possibilities as limitless because you are limitless. There's lots of expansion. There's this feeling of expansion and this feeling of allowing yourself to remember that there's so much more than what I want to say is meets the eye. So wherever you are, whatever is happening, it's almost like don't allow yourself to just get comfortable, right? Like realizing that there is even more that you can do. And I want to say this, but sort of take this with a, when I say it this way, like a grain of salt, right? There's more that you can even be, right? It's not being bucketed into one version of who you perceive yourself to be. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So even if you're listening to this message, right? How does this connect to where you are right now? And understanding that you can expand and grow beyond what you thought or think is even possible in this moment. It can actually be even better than you think is possible. So, if you are a person, and even if you, I'm looking at you right now, Natalie, if you are thinking it can't possibly get better, it can actually get better. It can be better. So, allowing yourself to be okay with that and
Mhm.
accept that and receive that
Yeah.
and not limit the possibilities. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. I can't wait till we dive into this a little bit more because I'm curious how this is going to connect to the rest of the story because I feel like
Mhm.
there's more here to uncover.
Yeah.
So with that, I'd love if you could share, I think we were saying, you're a massage therapist, but you
Yeah.
got to this point. Didn't just you weren't just a massage therapist. And I didn't say it like that when I say just a massage therapist. I mean that you were wearing many hats when we first met
Yeah.
and juggling many things. So can you tell the listeners and the community of Life Activated your journey? How did you get here and what brought you to that place of realizing that you were out of alignment to get
Mhm.
into alignment?
Yeah. So I've always followed my passions, always. And what that became was wearing many hats. And I was a nanny for many, many years, 20 years, which morphed into house management, family support, that kind of thing. And then moving to being a realtor for a little while, loving living doing that, helping people with the main focus of always helping people, right, in different forms. And I just found that I was just running from place to place to place to place throughout the day. And I really was giving a piece of myself to each thing that I was doing. And I didn't have enough for me at the end of the day. And so when I met you, Mari, it was kind of in that spot of like, could I ever just go to work to one place and do massage therapy, which was the end goal, And how do I make that happen? How do I get that clientele? How do I lead with faith that it's actually going to happen? And I wouldn't have to be running everywhere else to make ends meet, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, that was my journey. And in working with you, definitely calming all of those fears and centering. centering into myself and that belief. And I think it was like, what, 6 months to 9 months. And I was in a new job as a full-time massage therapist. And so that was pretty rad.
Yeah, it is pretty rad, and I think it's 9 months now, right? Time is
Mhm,
we're in that weird time right now of life.
mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
like we're still in the pandemic times, but, it's like that sort of end of the heavy pandemic time, so I feel like time is so
Yeah.
hard to sort of understand.
So I've been in my new role for 15 months,
Yeah,
and that's crazy. But I think it was like maybe 11 months that I actually like got the position and was, moving forward in it, which is fantastic.
yeah. When you were feeling really sort of out of alignment and really sort of in that place of sort of disconnect, what was
Mhm.
happening for you?
Yeah. Everything just really felt discombobulated. Everything was a lot more stressful than it
Mm,
needed to be. I just remember running around a lot, not really having time for connection, not having time for family and friends, not having time for me. And it was stressful. It became very, very stressful. And so being able to center my energy, I just feel a lot more calm now. And I feel like that shows up in my day to day life and my practice as well. And so, yeah, it's just been a really nice change to be able to be like, okay, now what do I want to do? And you kind of look around for the things like, am I looking at growing my social circle? Am I looking at growing my love interest? Am I, like what does this look like? And so building a life outside of career, which is
yeah.
foreign to me, but also absolutely needed.
Yeah. And that's, I think, a really good reminder, that so many women, I think, struggle with is we silo our lives, and we forget to have a full life that's like well-rounded and holistic
Mhm.
versus, focused on one aspect of your world and then realizing like, oh my goodness, you've left out all those other pieces. You've left out the romance. You've left out the social part of your life. And now you are taking those steps to weave that back into your world so that it is again a holistic life. Truly.
Yeah.
Worldview, but also giving yourself now you have time, right?
Right. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that feels really good. Yeah.
I am popping in really quick to share with you just a couple of things. First and foremost, I just want to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member, a community member of Life Activated, the podcast. Without you, there would be no podcast. If you are enjoying this podcast, if you have enjoyed the podcast before, listen to the other episodes, do me a favor. Go and rate and review this episode, rate and review the podcast overall. The way that other women just like you find Life Activated, the podcast, is by reviews and by ratings. So whether you're listening on Spotify, whether you're listening on Apple or any other platform, YouTube, however you listen, go rate and review. It's much appreciated. It helps this podcast be found and heard by others. So thanks. I appreciate you. And second, I wanted to let you know that every season, my intention is to give you a gift. It is to give you a free resource that is to support you in connecting deeper with the theme of the season. This season is all about alignment. So last season, I took you through reflection. This season is about alignment. And I did a fan favorite for you, which was to create an energy healing, a short energy healing session for you. So go to the show notes and download your free energy healing session. You're going to want to make sure that you are cozy, comfortable, a relaxed state. Make sure you have a notepad, pen. Make sure you have some water so that you can take notes and that you're relaxed. One of my dear friends always said that any kind of energy healing is just like massage, but it's for your energetic soul being. So you're going to want to take it easy afterward, but you will definitely be given insight and clarity once it's done, during, before, all throughout. So I hope you enjoy it. Download it. Definitely let me know what comes up for you. Send me a message. I love hearing from you. Share on Instagram how it went for you. And if you even feel called to want to work with me more deeply in any other way because you've experienced energy healing, reach out. We can talk about it. All right, back to the show. Can I ask you a question? Because I feel like this is something that is also really important, is
Mhm.
like the boundaries piece. How did you sort of shift or create new boundaries to support you being able to really start to dive into your new work of, doing massage therapy full time
Mhm. Boundaries in my personal life or boundaries
in
in
general?
in general? Yeah. Boundaries are hard. Boundaries are hard for me because I'm a giving human, and it's definitely, some would say I don't have boundaries. And I like that in the sense that whoever you are is who you are, and you get to come to me and I accept you as is. There is no changing, there is no any of that. But I do know that I don't take on the things that are going to negatively affect me. And
Mm,
so with massage therapy, there's a lot that comes to the table, and there's a lot that can be pretty heavy emotionally and physically. For me, I am really, really, really present with it in the moment.
mm,
And then once the person is done and we finish session, I expel that energy and let it be released up into the universe to where it's not inside of me. It's not weighing me down, but I honored the energy as it was when we were in session, to bond with the person and to know that they are supported and loved. And then I let that go and ask that it be let go for them as well.
mm.
I feel like I am leading with that in my own world as well. There's a lot, that comes up. And so you take it and you release it as best you can. I'm
Yeah.
not great at it, but I am trying.
Yeah. But that's the journey of
Yeah.
life. But
Mhm.
and it's also the realization that it is a journey and that you are constantly practice of recentering to give yourself space to come back into that center point of alignment, which is, where do I need to tighten my boundaries? Where do I
Right.
need to reshift here or there? Where do I need
Yeah.
to maybe say no or say yes? And I
Yeah.
think that's something that we tend to not give ourselves grace with, is remembering that, you know, we're gonna slip. That's part of the process of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's the journey. Yeah.
I really like just reevaluating, right?
Mhm.
You're like, whoa, this isn't working for me. Let's reevaluate. Let's see where there's some give. Let's try this, let's try that. And so in that way, I'm constantly moving,
Mhm.
and at our office manager, I'm always like, let's try these hours and let's do this over here. And she's like, okay, and she's so great. And so that's been really helpful to be very flexible in I want more, I want less, I want, time off, I need, these things. And what I really like about where I've landed is it's incredibly supportive in that
Mhm.
way. And I feel like it aligns very, very well. Our whole office does. And so that's been really great.
Yeah. It's giving you the freedom to be of highest service to your clients and be of support to yourself too, doing what you are passionate about.
Mhm. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the dream, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, the whole
Mhm.
plan.
Exactly, exactly. Can you talk to me a little bit about, I know you mentioned earlier that, you have that strong sort of faith. Talk
Mhm.
to me about how you connect into your intuition and sort of lean into and trust your intuition.
Yeah. I do a lot of praying and just sitting with that. When I feel like completely out of whack, I do take that time and just be like, what is going on? And I think we've all had those moments where you're just like, everything's coming at you at every point. And I live a really, really peaceful, serene life now. And so when things like start to like really crash in, you're just like, okay, this is not something I'm doing, but what's happening? And so reconnecting, being still, taking time. And I do a lot of that actually while I'm doing massage. It's such a serene time and a great time for just all things present. And so being in that space allows me to just kind of reconnect with all the energies and all the things and helps the client as well. So,
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. I love that. And I think what you're bringing up too, in terms of connecting with your intuition and that inner knowing, is the reminder that it can look different for everyone in terms
Mhm.
of how you connect to who you are and to your truth. And you said prayer is one thing, right? Some people
Mhm.
it's going out and being in nature. Some people it
Yeah.
is dance or, it's quote unquote proper meditation or it's baking or, driving in your car listening to loud music. It doesn't have to be one particular prescribed
Yeah.
way to connect to your own inner knowing, your own intuition. And I think that you're helping so many people like have a light bulb moment just to know that
Mhm.
it could be something completely different than what they think it could be.
Yeah. And to add to that as well, it is that journey as well, finding your intuition, finding that point where you're like, okay, sometimes I pray, sometimes it leads me to taking a drive and listening to the music. And so, it takes me to nature and it takes me all these different paths to find where I'm supposed to be. It's not always that one like, well, I did this and it's not feeling great. It's not working,
Mm.
and it is that journey. It is that flight trying to find and navigate. And you're just like, okay, all right. And maybe it's all of it. Maybe you need all of it.
Yeah. 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 For some people, it's journaling. And, I'm
Mhm.
not a journaler. So it's going to be
Mhm.
like a bullet point journal for me. It's not going to be full out, I'm writing all this stuff down. And all of a sudden I have this huge sense of clarity, but I might
Yeah.
be in the shower and all of a sudden have a total
Mhm.
realization that was like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I needed to know that thing."
Right. Painting is mine. I
Mhm,
love painting, you know, getting paint on canvas and all these things come up and it's just this like really inner peace. My sister and I did some puzzling over Thanksgiving. I didn't realize that I love puzzling so much, but it's so fun. So
mhm.
that's definitely going to happen again today. So
Yeah,
yeah.
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 I love it, I love it.
Mhm.
One thing I have to ask you is, around how you celebrate, because something that I have been realizing and I've been wanting to make a point of talking about on the podcast is celebrating ourselves. And
Mhm.
I know that I struggle with this, and a lot of the women I've interviewed, we have a challenge with how do we celebrate ourselves. So can you share, what do you do to celebrate yourself?
Yeah. If I have a win, I say it out loud. I'm like, "Wow, you did a real good job today. You really got it today."
I
And
love that.
it's such a silly thing, but it totally works. And it's really, really fun. And then I take myself to Target because everybody should take themselves to Target. But yeah, I try and celebrate the wins, grab a friend, go out to dinner, do that kind of thing. But it always starts with me. It always
Yeah.
starts I see you and I see what you just did there. And I think
Mhm.
that's really so good job.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is amazing, and that is a really good reminder to put out there, and I don't remember if I've mentioned this before, but something that one of my old managers, one of my favorite old managers when I used to be an event planner, said, and this is dating myself because this is, like, early computer like, fancy computer days. She would be like, "Mari, you need your she done good file." And,
Mhm.
it would be hold all those emails, and again, I used to be in event planning, so we would get written notes from people to say, like, "Thanks so much for making our event so great," and hold that file folder somewhere so that when you're having a bad day, you can go back through and look and see just how awesome you actually really are. I have always tried to do that, especially, in the corporate world, to keep that. I don't have it as much in my business because I feel I get that reward regularly with my clients, right?
Mhm.
It's very different feeling in corporate though.
Right. Right. I would imagine it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's like instant reward with my clients.
Same with you, like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's instant reward. And yes, it's even more reward when I get, a text message from you or another client or, a email or something, but in the corporate world, it can be a lot more challenging sometimes, and to have that
Mhm.
folder is really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's a good reminder. So, I'd love to also know from you, when you feel that you're standing in your truth. I'm trying to think about how I want to word it. Like, what does it feel like to you when you're standing in your truth? That's how I want to say it.
Okay. It feels really powerful
Mm,
and right?
mhm,
When you're
mhm,
standing, it's really powerful. It's like when you are standing, your feet, I mean, obviously they're connected to the floor, but you're really connected. Does that make sense?
mhm, mhm,
And you are standing in neutral.
mm.
It feels incredibly powerful. And I don't know how to say that more than that. But what it feels like to be living my truth when I am in that standing and being, it's just peace, you know. My life is very, very peaceful and intentionally peaceful.
Yeah,
And saying no to things that are it's just not gonna work, and not allowing your, well, this person is in corporate and this person can get this done and they have children and they have a husband and they have kids and they have all these things and they're volunteering. Why aren't you volunteering? They're
Mm,
doing it. Why aren't you doing it? They're
mm,
doing every XYZ. They can make this work. Why can't you? And my answer to myself was, you have been intentional about not crowding your life.
mm,
Intent. If there's an opportunity at some point where you can volunteer and feel good about it and keep this peace, then do that. Otherwise, it's not for you at this time, and honor that.
mm. Yeah.
And that feels really powerful.
Mhm. So what I'm hearing from you is you're not comparing. Standing
Uh-huh.
in your truth is being comfortable with who you are in this moment, doing what you are loving, and
Mhm.
you're not comparing yourself to what other people are doing at this time in their journeys either.
Mm. Right. Right.
Mhm.
And being mindful that you worked really hard to get here to this
Mhm.
point, right? Whatever your point looks like,
Mhm.
I worked really hard to let go of all the other little things.
Yeah.
And so keep that.
Yeah, you did. You worked hard to
Mhm.
release all of the other jobs and to release fear to take that leap to go full
Mhm.
time into the space that you really wanted to go, which was massage.
Yeah.
And now you are fully booked up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You know, and there's lots of other really cool things, right? Like you're fully booked
Mhm.
up. You're in a place that you love living now, you know. There's a
Mhm.
lot of really good things happening
Mhm.
in your life right now.
Yes. Movement has happened.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to settling back down a little bit.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, this is beautiful and it's such a great story in terms of, you know, how you have connected to not only your truth, but how you are and have reconnected to being in alignment with who you are.
Mhm.
And so I'm just so grateful that you're sharing that story and that you're giving other women who are listening to the podcast an opportunity to hear and hopefully be inspired and empowered to know that it's possible and that there are ways for them to do the same.
Mhm.
And if you would and could tell people who may be in our area how they can find you should they want to be able to be gifted to receive your gifts of massage.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm over at Chosen Chiropractic and it's just chosenchiropractic.com. And you can follow their little link and either give us a call or write Jennifer an email and she's happy to get you guys on the schedule.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'll put everything in the show notes. Yeah,
yeah. And then I have my Instagram and Natalie Brown, and I can send you a link for that if
yes,
you want to connect to me directly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've had massage from Natalie. It's lovely, it's peaceful. You know, everyone has gifts and Natalie has her gifts, and if you are looking for a person to support you in terms of healing massage, she's definitely a person who can help you, especially if you are in the Pacific Northwest. Definitely check her out, get on her calendar, but like, you better move fast because she's pretty booked up. So get on the calendar. Don't wait. And again, thank you so much for being here. It's such a joy to just witness you and to witness how far you've come and to see you truly living your passions and inspiring other people to do the same.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you for being such a blessing in my own world.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. All right. Until next time, everyone. All right. That does it for this episode of the Life Activated podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Please do subscribe to the show, rank and review the podcast. 5-star reviews go a long way. Let me know that you've done so. Send me a message on LinkedIn or Instagram with a screenshot, and I will personally reach out to you to thank you. Send me a message letting me know what you think about the show, and definitely check out the show notes for additional resources to support you with this season.